we'll be exploring Chapter 6. Now, you might think an autobiography, that's going to be all personal stories and childhood memories, right?
Right.
But trust me, this chapter is so much more than that. We get to see not only how his incredible inventions came to be, but also his philosophies on life, war, peace,
Right.
even the universe itself. It's
Absolutely.
really fascinating stuff.
One of the things that struck me right away was how Tesla describes his approach to problem solving. These intense periods of work followed by, well, almost like trance-like states of rest.
Yeah, like he talks about this safety device.
That's it. It really makes you think about how we view creativity and burnout today.
Reading about his safety device really got me thinking. Tesla talks about pushing himself to the absolute limit, working day and night on his inventions. And then, bam, he hits a wall, collapses into these incredibly deep sleeps.
Right.
And when he wakes up, it's like the days just melt away. He feels totally refreshed, as if those previous days were just a distant memory.
Yeah, he even mentions feeling a kind of mental nausea.
Yeah. Mental nausea when he tries to remember those intense work periods.
Exactly. It's wild.
Have you ever experienced anything like that? Maybe not to that extreme, but I think we've all felt that mental drain after, really focusing on something for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of hitting a wall mentally, we've all been there.
Totally.
But what's so interesting about Tesla's experience is how he seemed to, recognize the importance of those mental breaks.
Yeah, like it was built in.
Almost like he instinctively knew his brain needed that time to process and recharge. And that kind of self-awareness back then. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that whole idea of stepping away from a problem to get a fresh perspective, it's still so relevant today. We see it everywhere. Science, engineering, art, music, you name it.
It's like that classic advice, sleep on it.
Exactly. Sometimes the best way to crack a problem is to just step back and let your subconscious do its thing.
Totally agree. It's like giving your brain the space to make those connections it wouldn't have made otherwise.
Right.
Maybe we should all be scheduling some safety device time into our weeks.
I like that.
But, okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about what Tesla was actually working on during these super intense periods. He spends a lot of time in this chapter talking about his magnifying transmitter, a project he truly believed would be his most significant contribution to humanity.
And for good reason. The magnifying transmitter was basically Tesla's attempt to create a system for, get this, wireless power transmission.
Whoa.
He imagined a world where energy could be beamed across huge distances.
Like no wires.
Exactly.
Right.
Powering homes, factories, you name it, all without needing any cables or wires. Pretty mind-blowing, right?
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
And remember, this was back in the late 19th, early 20th centuries.
Right, like way before the internet, widespread radio.
Exactly. So this whole idea of wireless power, it was revolutionary.
Totally. And he even imagined this technology being used to, get this, propel flying machines around the world.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was a visionary.
It's incredible how his mind worked, connecting all these seemingly different ideas, pushing the limits of what anyone thought was possible. But for Tesla, it wasn't just about the tech itself.
Right.
He truly believed the magnifying transmitter could solve some of humanity's biggest problems.
It was about more than just cool gadgets. It was about transforming the world.
And that's what makes Tesla so fascinating. He wasn't just a brilliant inventor. He was a visionary who saw his inventions as tools to tackle social and political issues.
Absolutely. For example, he initially believed that the magnifying transmitter, with its potential for massive destructive power, could actually help abolish war.
Now that sounds a bit paradoxical.
Right? It's kind of counterintuitive.
But how did he figure that?
Well, Tesla's logic was that if nations had weapons capable of unimaginable destruction, war would basically become unthinkable.
Okay.
The sheer terror of these weapons would act as a deterrent, forcing countries to find peaceful solutions.
So it's like mutually assured destruction, but on a whole new level.
Exactly. It's like nobody's going to mess around if everyone has the power to end everything.
It makes sense.
But as Tesla grappled with human nature and international relations, his views on war and peace, well, they evolved.
Oh, interesting.
He started to realize that simply having these super powerful weapons wouldn't guarantee peace.
So what did he think then?
He began to worry that the potential for such devastating destruction could actually make war more likely.
How so?
Well, think about it. If everyone knows about these weapons, countries might race to develop and use them before their rivals do, out of fear.
Yeah, I see point.
It's a sobering thought, and it's incredibly relevant even today, you know? We're facing increasingly powerful technologies, artificial intelligence, bioengineering, the list goes on. It's like we're living in Tesla's future, in a way.
Totally. And what's interesting is that Tesla seemed to understand that technology alone couldn't solve the problems of human conflict. He saw the need to address the root causes, the underlying tensions that drive us to violence.
Exactly. It's not just about the tools, it's about how we use them.
He was way ahead of his time.
Absolutely. Tesla came to believe that the key to lasting peace wasn't about bigger weapons, it was about eliminating distance.
What do you mean by eliminating distance?
He meant both physically and metaphorically.
Okay.
He envisioned a world where advancements in communication and transportation would bring people closer together.
I see.
You know, fostering understanding, breaking down barriers.
Right, like a global community.
Exactly. Imagine being able to instantly communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Or traveling across continents in just a few hours. Tesla believed that this kind of interconnectedness would create a sense of shared humanity, making war not only unthinkable but also pointless.
It's really fascinating how his technological vision was so intertwined with his social and philosophical ideals.
Absolutely. He wasn't just an inventor, he was a deep thinker wrestling with these fundamental questions about humanity.
Totally. But this chapter also reveals some of Tesla's more, let's say, unconventional ideas.
Like what?
Well, like his theory of cosmic pain.
Ah, yes. Cosmic pain. That's a really interesting one. Essentially, Tesla describes experiencing this distinct, almost undefinable pain whenever he, or someone he cared about, was treated unfairly. And he noticed this strange pattern. The people who inflicted that injustice often experienced some kind of misfortune soon after.
It's like karma almost.
Right, it does have that vibe. But Tesla insisted it wasn't just superstition. He saw it as evidence of a deeper connection between all beings.
Interesting.
Like an invisible web of cause and effect, something beyond our current understanding.
So how does this cosmic pain fit into his overall philosophy?
Well, it connects to his belief that life is essentially mechanistic.
Mechanist?
He argued that all living beings, even us humans, are incredibly complex machines, responding to a constant stream of stimuli from our environment.
Interesting.
And just like physical laws govern the motion of objects, Tesla believed there were unseen forces governing human behavior and interactions.
So he's suggesting that even seemingly random acts of kindness or cruelty are actually part of this larger system.
Exactly. It's all interconnected.
Wow.
And he believed that if we could become more attuned to these forces, more aware of this interconnected reality, we could live healthier, more fulfilling lives and create a more just and harmonious world.
It's definitely a radical concept.
Oh, for sure. It's mind-blowing, really.
But it makes you think, doesn't it?
It just definitely does.
I mean, we have to remember that Tesla was writing this in the early 20th century.
Right.
Science was advancing rapidly, but our understanding of the universe was still quite limited.
Absolutely. So his ideas might sound strange or even mystical to us today, but they reflect his deep curiosity about the nature of reality.
And his willingness to challenge conventional thinking.
Precisely.
And that's what makes exploring Tesla's work so fascinating. He wasn't afraid to ask the big questions, to push the boundaries of knowledge.
Yes, true pioneer.
And to explore uncharted territories of thought.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has been electrifying so far, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. And we've only just scratched the surface.
We've learned about Tesla's unique approach to problem solving. His revolutionary vision for wireless power.
Right.
And his thought-provoking theories on war, peace, and the interconnectedness of everything.
It's amazing how much he covered in just this one chapter.
But there's still so much more to uncover in Chapter 6.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, we haven't even touched on his early work with automata.
Oh, right. The robots.
Or his insights into consciousness and free will.
I can't wait to dig into that.
So stay tuned as we continue exploring the incredible mind of Nikola Tesla.
I'm ready for more. It's remarkable how Tesla connects these seemingly different ideas in this chapter, you know? We've gone from his concept of a safety device to the magnifying transmitter and his views on war and peace.
Right.
And now we're diving into his fascination with automata. You might think, wait, what? How does that even fit in?
Yeah, it seems like a completely different subject.
Right. But Tesla saw these things as interconnected, all stemming from this deep curiosity about life and consciousness.
It's like he was searching for those underlying principles that govern everything, from the smallest particles to the vastness of the universe.
Exactly. And for Tesla, automata were a way to explore those principles in a tangible way.
He could build these machines, experiment with them,
Hands-on,
and try to unravel the secrets of movement, intelligence.
even free will.
And what's mind-blowing is that he was doing this in the late 19th, early 20th centuries,
Way ahead of his time.
long before computers and modern robotics as we know it.
He was like a pioneer in this field.
Totally. It's like he was laying the groundwork for something that wouldn't fully emerge for decades.
Right. And in this chapter, he talks about his early experiments with remote-controlled devices. Like that small boat he could maneuver wirelessly.
Oh, yeah. That's incredible.
It was groundbreaking back then, a real glimpse into the future. And it kind of foreshadowed his later work with more complex automata.
He talks about wanting to create machines that could not only mimic human actions, but also think and act on their own.
Right, like they had a mind of their own.
He called these advanced machines teleautomata,
The teleautomata.
and he believed they had the potential to revolutionize everything.
From warfare to everyday life.
He envisioned teleautomata performing dangerous tasks, exploring hazardous environments.
Even assisting with surgery.
It's like he saw them as an extension of human capabilities, freeing us from tedious or dangerous labor.
Right. But he also recognized the potential dangers of this technology. He was worried about the ethics of creating machines that could think and act independently.
It's like he was wrestling with those big questions. What does it mean to be human? What happens when machines start to think for themselves?
Exactly. And it's incredible how prescient he was. These are the same ethical dilemmas we're facing today with artificial intelligence.
Totally. AI is getting more and more sophisticated.
And it's a testament to Tesla's brilliance that he was already thinking about these issues over a century ago.
He was way ahead of his time. He even came up with the idea of a self-driving car.
A self-driving car, back then.
Yeah, decades before the technology even existed.
No way.
He describes a vehicle that could navigate roads and traffic without any human input,
That's amazing.
using a combination of sensors and automated controls.
It's like he predicted the future.
And this idea of a self-driving car, a machine making decisions and navigating complex environments, it ties back to his belief in the interconnectedness of everything.
Right, that web of unseen forces.
If machines can make decisions, respond to their surroundings intelligently,
Huh?
it makes you wonder about our own decision-making.
Are we really in control? Or are we also influenced by forces beyond our awareness?
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to his theory of cosmic pain. That idea that our actions have consequences that ripple through this invisible network.
Right. And if we apply that to machines, to AI,
What happens then?
it raises some interesting questions about the impact of AI on humanity.
Totally. Tesla believed that technology should be used to enhance human life, not replace or control it.
He saw teleautomata as tools to help us, not replace us.
But he also knew that with this advanced tech comes great responsibility.
We have to consider the ethical implications, make sure these powerful tools are used for good.
And that brings us back to his magnifying transmitter.
Ah, yes. His grand vision for the future.
He believed it was the key to unlocking abundance and progress for everyone.
Wireless power for the whole world. No more polluting power plants or expensive infrastructure.
It was more than just a cool invention for Tesla.
It was a symbol of his belief in the interconnectedness of everything, a way to connect the world through a shared source of energy.
He envisioned a future where energy flowed freely across borders, powering homes, industries, everything.
No limits, no boundaries.
And this vision reflects his philosophy of interconnectedness, breaking down barriers, both physical and metaphorical, to create a more harmonious world.
Unity through technology.
But Tesla wasn't naive. He knew that human nature, with all its greed and fear, could get in the way.
Right, we're not always so good at sharing.
And that's why he believed so strongly in education.
Knowledge is power.
We need to cultivate a sense of shared responsibility for the future.
We're all in this together.
If we can teach people to think critically, to value knowledge and understanding,
Then we can overcome those obstacles to progress.
by fostering a love of learning and a respect for the natural world.
We can create a future where technology enhances human life, not exploits it.
It's a vision that's still relevant today.
Absolutely. As we face challenges like climate change, inequality, and the rapid advancement of technology,
We need to remember Tesla's message of hope and progress. His belief in human ingenuity to solve even the toughest problems.
We have the power to create a better future.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle.
What's that?
The aspect of Tesla's life that often gets overshadowed by his scientific achievements, his experiences with the spiritual and the mystical.
Oh, right. That's a whole other side of Tesla.
His belief in a universal consciousness that connects everything.
That's right. And in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore this often overlooked side of Tesla.
We'll delve into his experiences with cosmic consciousness, his belief in intuition, and his deep respect for the mysteries of the universe.
It's a journey that goes beyond science and into the realm of the spiritual,
where Tesla's brilliance shines just as brightly as it does in the lab. Welcome back to our deep dive into Nikola Tesla's autobiography, My Inventions. We're wrapping up our exploration of Chapter 6, and this time, we're venturing into some pretty uncharted territory. We're going to explore a side of Tesla that often gets overshadowed by his scientific achievements, his profound connection to the spiritual and the mystical.
It's always fascinating to me how Tesla, a man known for his groundbreaking work with electricity and magnetism, also had this deep sense of the spiritual.
Right.
He often talked about experiencing these moments of intense clarity and insight, like a feeling of being connected to something much larger than himself.
Yeah, like a universal consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A universal consciousness that he believed was woven through everything. And he even called these experiences cosmic consciousness.
Cosmic consciousness. I'll admit, when I first read about that, I was a bit skeptical.
Yeah, it does sound a bit out there.
But the more I read Tesla's writings, the more I realized this wasn't just some passing interest or, an overactive imagination.
Right.
This was a fundamental part of who he was, a belief system that shaped his scientific work and his whole view of the world.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that Tesla's idea of cosmic consciousness wasn't tied to traditional religion or dogma.
Right. It was more like a personal philosophy.
Exactly. A deep belief in the interconnectedness of everything. This feeling that there's a hidden order to the universe, like a symphony of unseen forces orchestrating everything.
It's a beautiful way to put it. And, he even talks about having visions and premonitions, which he attributed to this heightened state of awareness. Like there's this one account where he describes having a vivid premonition of his mother's death while he was traveling abroad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a chilling story. And it really suggests that Tesla believed he could access a realm beyond our physical senses, a realm where time and space didn't really exist in the same way.
And these weren't just random occurrences for Tesla. He believed they were key to his creative process.
Oh, interesting.
He often said his inventions came to him in flashes of insight, fully formed and complete in his mind, as if they were being transmitted to him from somewhere else.
Like downloads from the universe.
Exactly. It's a fascinating concept. It makes you wonder about the nature of inspiration, Where do these groundbreaking ideas come from? Are they just products of our minds? Or is there something more, some hidden force guiding us toward these discoveries?
Right. Like, was Tesla just a brilliant mind? Or was he tapping into something bigger?
It's a question for the ages.
It's like he thought the universe was whispering secrets to him.
Yeah.
And his job was to listen and translate those whispers into inventions.
And it wasn't just about technology either.
Right.
Tesla saw this connection to a universal consciousness as a source of profound wisdom, like a way to understand the mysteries of life itself.
It's a pretty powerful idea, and, it echoes a lot of spiritual traditions throughout history.
Yeah, for sure. But what's unique about Tesla is how he combined the spirituality with his scientific work.
It wasn't one or the other for him.
Absolutely. It was a seamless blend of the scientific and the mystical.
And, exploring this side of Tesla has really made me rethink my own ideas about science and spirituality.
I too.
They're often seen as opposites, but in Tesla's life, they were intertwined.
Right. They complemented each other.
And I think that's what makes Tesla such a captivating figure, this blend of scientific brilliance and spiritual depth.
He was a man who could delve into the complexities of electromagnetism one minute and then ponder the mysteries of the universe the next.
It's amazing. So what can we take away from Tesla's experiences with cosmic consciousness and his deep sense of the spiritual?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is the importance of being open to the unknown, embracing the mystery and wonder that's all around us.
Yeah, like not being afraid to ask the big questions.
Exactly. Tesla's life shows us that there's more to reality than what we see on the surface. There are forces at work that we might never fully understand.
And maybe by embracing that sense of wonder, by acknowledging the limits of what we know, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities, new ways of seeing the world, just like Tesla did.
I think that's a great point.
Well, we've come to the end of our deep dive into Nikola Tesla's My Inventions, Chapter 6. And what a journey it's been.
It's been amazing, hasn't it?
We've explored his groundbreaking inventions, his visionary ideas about the future, his deep insights into life, consciousness, the universe. It's all here in this one chapter.
Tesla's story is truly inspiring.
It really is. Shows the power of human curiosity, the incredible potential of the human mind, and the importance of always staying open to the unknown.
And as we face the complexities of the 21st century, I think Tesla's insights are more relevant than ever.
I agree. We hope this deep dive has ignited your own curiosity about Nikola Tesla and his remarkable life.
He was a true visionary.
Absolutely. And as you go about your day, we encourage you to keep asking questions, to challenge assumptions, and to never stop exploring the mysteries of the universe. Thanks for joining us.